What's going on, everybody? It's your boy J-Man back, checking in with the people, back with another video. And today, we have a quick sales update. As the infamous Peter Moore once said, the first to 10 million wins the generation. Am I correct? The first to 10 million wins the generation? Well, we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. The PlayStation 5 has become the fastest selling PlayStation as it hits 10 million sales. Now, VG Charts actually came out with this number last week, but we all know you got to take VG Charts number with a grain of salt, even though they kind of been hitting the nail on the head for the past few months. But if I say anything, I'm in big trouble. So we wanted to wait for the official numbers, and PlayStation came out today and released those numbers and said that the PlayStation has hit that milestone of 10 million sales. Now, you look at this number 10 million and you think, how many of these PlayStations are in scalpers' hands? Because we all know the scalping market is insane right now. But one thing I can say about the scalpers is they're not buying these PlayStations to hold on to them. Regardless of the price that they're selling them at, they're getting into homes of people that want to play a PlayStation 5. Now, nonetheless, with the chip shortage going on and everything like that, I still think this is a crazy number because of the pandemic and the chip shortage and the scalpers, that people are actually able to still go out and buy the PlayStation 5 and still actually want to go out and have the PlayStation 5. So seeing that these consoles are selling well, I think that's impressive by itself when you're taking apart everything else that's going on. But in addition to the console sale numbers, PlayStation also gave us some software sale numbers. Now, I appreciate this because other than Nintendo, we kind of don't get this information directly from the source when it comes to software sales. So PlayStation updated us and let us know that Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is a cross-gen title on PS4 and PlayStation 5, has hit 6.5 million sales. That's amazing because Spider-Man is a game that, of course, is popular based on the name, but it seems as if it's also synonymous with the PlayStation 5. I don't think a lot of people really know that this game is on PS4 based off the marketing. And then whenever you see that the PlayStation 5 has an increase in sales based on stock, you see that Spider-Man Morales tends to follow that trend with it. So good to see Spider-Man Miles Morales have some good legs and hit that 6.5 sales number after what, 7 or 8 months. So I expect that game to continue to sell and even possibly hit 10 million by the end of this year, based on the increase in stock of the PlayStation 5 and things of that nature. We also got update on MLB The Show 21. Now, PlayStation announces that MLB The Show 21 has hit 2 million sales. Actually, it surpasses 2 million sales. Now, we all know this game was also a cross-gen title, but in addition to that, this was the first time that MLB The Show was on a third-party platform. In this case, it was on Xbox. Now, Xbox had this game in Game Pass, so I'm not sure how that factors into the sales figures, but we know that it surpasses 2 million, and that they also mentioned that the player base is around 4 million players. So I guess that says a lot about what this game possibly did on Game Pass and the excitement and the engagement that people are having with this game. So definitely cool to see. This has also been mentioned as the best-selling MLB The Show title, or at least fastest selling. So this game also seems to be doing well. In addition to MLB The Show, they also updated us on Returnal. Returnal has exceeded 560,000 copies since its release in April. Now, this was a little bit of a conversation on the timeline about if these sale numbers for Returnal are good. In my opinion, I think they are good because of the type of game that Returnal is. I didn't expect this game to be, selling in the vein of a standard AAA game. This game is tough. It's not forgiving, and I think that also turned a lot of people off. In addition to that, it was $70. A lot of people looked at this game and felt that it wasn't worth $70, and I would I would tend to agree to that after as someone who beat the game. And so I think a lot of people waited for the price drop. And with the PS5 being at 10 million, and this is an exclusive, I think this number falls in line with what I expected this game to do. And I do think that Housemarque has to be careful, because I think if they're going to continue to make games like this, we know they like to make the arcade style games, but if they're going to make them tough and as unforgiving as Returnal was, they got to nail the launch, because I think that the launch turned off a lot of people. With this type of game, a roguelike, you die and you start from the beginning of the game. The game was having bug issues and crashes, and that was starting people over, me included. I think that happened to me 2 or 3 times when I first got the game, where it crashed and I had to start all the way over from the beginning. So when you launch a game like this, it has to be flawless in that sense. But I think moving forward, they're not going to do a game like this. Or if they do, they're going to make it a little bit more forgiving, as far as for people to not making it easier in that sense, because I know a lot of people who tend to cry about the game being hard. Not make it easier, but just make it more forgiving for the people that want to play it, and so they don't have to deal with the issues that were happening at launch for this game. So it's either one or the two, because we all know Housemarque, their games don't tend to sell a lot. So if they want to, keep people on board with the games that they make, I think they're either going to have to switch up the formula a little bit and make something more forgiving to the player base, or just do something completely different with that same style of arcadey mechanics. And lastly but not least, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart also got a sales update, and we're looking at that game doing 1.1 million units worldwide since it was released, which was about a month ago. So pretty decent numbers overall. They say Ratchet and Clank was the highest grossing Ratchet and Clank game ever in the US during its launch month. So worldwide, I expect those numbers to be around the same. $70 title this time. So I think, these $70 titles seem to be doing well for PlayStation. And of course, it's not going anywhere, because once it's there, they're not going to take it back. But good to see, I guess, all these games I was a fan of. So them selling well or doing decent, it only means that hopefully we'll get more from these studios or these franchises in the future. Now, that's enough about PlayStation. As you can see, there's another platform in the title, in the thumbnail, and that's that Xbox Series X and S. Yes, Xbox Series X and S has been noted to be the fastest selling Xbox ever. And that's coming straight from the source's mouth. Satya Nadella himself has announced that for Xbox Series X and S. Now, Microsoft is not in the business of giving us concrete console sale numbers, but we do have some estimates if you follow Zooge EX, or if you want to take VG Charts, for instance, as a source. They had some estimates on the timeline, and they're saying as of June 30th, 2021, the sell-in for Xbox Series X and S is at about a 6.5 million, compared to their estimate of 5.7 million for the Xbox One and 5.0 million for the Xbox 360 in the same time frame. So, like I mentioned before with the PlayStation, Xbox seems to be doing very well, and with the supply constraints, the demand seems to be at an all-time high, and Microsoft is pleased with these sales. This is the fastest selling Xbox ever. Fastest selling Xbox ever. Now, I do want to note that the difference between the PlayStation 5 sales and the Xbox Series sales is that, one, the Xbox is sell-in versus the PlayStation, which is sell-through. If you don't know the difference, sell-in is what's sold to the the people that distribute, the companies that would sell these consoles to customers. So your GameStops, your Walmarts, your Best Buys, your Amazons. Sell-through is what actually ends up in customers' homes. These are the consoles that go from Best Buy and GameStop to the customer's home. Sell-in is what goes from Microsoft themselves to the stores like Best Buy and GameStop. So I believe PlayStation will update their sell-in number when we get the financial report, and I'm assuming that number to be much higher than the 10 million. And so if we do a little bit quick comparison, we can kind of see that we are close to about a 2-to-1 ratio for PlayStation to nobody's surprise. PlayStation dominates globally, but it's just good to see that all these platforms are doing well. I think gaming, as I said before, is at an all-time high in terms of popularity, in terms of engagement, and I think that's just great overall. That's my favorite hobby, so I would love more people to get involved and love more people to play these games as we're getting greater and greater experiences as time goes on. The evolution of gaming has been fantastic. So no software updates or anything like that for Xbox. I just thought that it was dope as hell to see that it's the fastest selling and that you know, they're doing well and they're doing the best that they're ever done. A quick note from their quarterly reports: the gaming revenue increased by 357 million for Xbox, up 11%, and hardware increased by 172% due to the strength of the Series X and S sales. Content and services decreased 4% due to a decline in third-party titles, and Game Pass subscribers and first-party games saw growth. No new Game Pass numbers, but I'm sure we'll get that soon. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about these sales. First to 10 million wins, but we all know in this generation, it's not really going to be about the console sales, at least not for Xbox. They're more into the Game Pass subscriptions. So nonetheless, rate the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch y'all on my next video. Peace.